Let's review Binging with Babish's Isotope Dog recipe video. So,
This episode is sponsored by ButcherBox. ButcherBox delivers 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood directly to your door. For a limited time, new members receive 2 pounds of ground beef free in every box for the lifetime of their membership. Head to the link in the video description for more info.
Oh, so hard to resist. Mesquite grilled onions, jalapeno relish. Wait a minute, those are Southwestern ingredients! Mango lime salsa? That's the kind of bold flavor they enjoy in Albuquerque!
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Binging with Babish, where this week I'm betting you're guessing that I got these hot dogs on ButcherBox. Nope, but I did make them from ButcherBox meat. I got 4 lovely ribeyes here that I'm going to cut into 1-inch cubes and 4 strips of bacon. That's right, we're making beef and bacon dogs, both of which we're going to subject to the freezer along with our meat grinder for about 15-20 minutes before commencing to grinding on the largest plate. Keeping everything cold prevents smearing and other general forms of grossness. Once all the meat is being ground, we're going to toss it together with our spice and cure mixture. Into a separate bowl, I'm combining 18 grams of kosher salt, 6 grams garlic powder, 4 grams onion powder, 4 grams white pepper, 10 grams paprika, and 1.5 grams of pink curing salt, or brown powder number 1. Go ahead and tiny whisk that together until all the spices are evenly distributed. Add it to the meat and toss to combine. Bear in mind, this spice mixture is for 1 kilogram of beef and 100 grams of bacon. Once all the meaty pebbles have been evenly coated in the spice mixture, it's time to bust out our very finest grinding plate from the freezer and grind it once again into a smooth, beefy spaghetti. Then we're going to take our smooth, beefy spaghetti and process it even further into something called a farce. But unlike the work of Monty Python or the Valentine's Day episode of Frasier, this farce is simply our meat mash emulsified together via food processor with some ice water. 250 milliliters all told for 1.1 kilograms of meat. I'm doing this in 2 batches so I don't burn out my food processor like I did during the Irishman episode. Scooping out the first batch into a bowl and then drizzling the remaining 125 ml into the food processor while it's running with the second batch of beef. Once we have our nice, smooth, creamy farce, you can either dig in with a spoon. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. What we're actually going to do is allow this to cure. Covering it with plastic wrap, press right down onto the surface of the meat so as to prevent oxidation, and letting it chill out in the fridge overnight. And then it's my least favorite time of day, sausage stuffing time. I have here a length of natural sheep casing that's going to give our hot dogs a snappy bite. After letting it soak for 15-20 minutes, I'm threading it onto our sausage stuffer, snipping off the excess, tying a knot so as to secure the extruding farce, and poking a hole in there using a sharp thing. This is going to help air escape and help prevent a phallic blowout as we begin the very unpleasant process of shoving our squishy farce through the machine. And try as I might, we still ended up with an intestinal condom, so I'm going to do the opposite of what you should do to a condom and poke more holes in it. Give it another try, and success. Stuffing sausage by yourself is an annoying process because you have to both load the farce into the grinder and guide the casing off of the machine, so hopefully next time ordinary sausage will come through and give you some help. Once all your sausage has been stuffed, go ahead and tie off the other end, give a little wipe down so the exterior is a little less gross, and then it's time to start twisting into individual links, which you want to do alternating directions each link. This prevents the sausages from unraveling when it comes time to cook them, which it is now. First, we need to poke them with a whole bunch of holes using our sharp thing to prevent blowouts. Then these guys are headed out onto the smoker, which I have set to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm using mesquite wood pellets for the sake of our meals later on, and so we can get that nice Albuquerque flavor in our hot dogs. Arrange them into a perfect circle if you feel like it. Shut it down and let them smoke for 1 hour or until they register 150 degrees Fahrenheit at their thickest point. Not to mention look, feel, and smell like hot dogs, but do they taste like hot dogs? Let's find out.
Freaking amazing.
Snip the bits of casing betwixt the dogs so as to separate them, slice them open, and give them a try, and I'm happy to report that they taste like bacon hot dogs, so big win in my book. Now on to the plethora of condiments that adorn this dog. First up, jalapeno relish. I got about 8 de-seeded, deveined, and de-stemmed jalapenos, and 2 large cloves of garlic, the latter of which I'm going to process a bit before adding jalapenos to ensure its even distribution. Once that's good and chopped up, add jalapenos, and then process until it has a relish-like consistency. So so nice little chunks. Scrape down the sides of the bowl occasionally and process until your desired consistency is achieved. Then to sort of quick pickle these guys, I've got equal parts vinegar and water, about a half cup each, a tablespoon of kosher salt, and a quarter cup of sugar, all of which I'm going to tiny whisk together and bring to a boil before pouring over our jalapeno garlic mixture, which I'm going to let cool completely about 1 hour before draining off excess liquid and refrigerating. This stuff turned out delicious and I highly recommend it. Next up on the hit list, a mango salsa, for which it comes as no surprise we're going to need some mangoes, which if you saw me answering questions from Twitter on Wired, you know I still don't know how to do with any efficiency or accuracy. So I'm going to keep slicing it up like an avocado and sort of inverting it so it looks like the picture on a package of high chew, scraping off all the fruit and then chopping it up into a salsa-like consistency. Said salsa seen on The Simpsons didn't seem to have any other mix-ins, but it's not really salsa without some red onion. So I got half a small red onion here that I'm going to finely chop and add to the party, along with 1 small lime cut in half and juiced by hand. And because I care more about accuracy to Southwestern flavors than my own taste buds, a little bit of chopped cilantro, a generous sprinkle of kosher salt, and a few twists of freshly ground black pepper. Go ahead and mix that together and you got yourself one mango salsa. Cover this up and refrigerate until ready to use. Last up, we have our mesquite grilled onions. This is probably most easily achieved by throwing some mesquite chips on a charcoal grill, but I don't have that, so onto the smoker it goes, this time cranked up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit for searing. Once we've logged a few minutes on there and we got some nice char marks, it's time to chop these guys up and assemble. First, I'm going to lay out all 3 of our condiments here, our jalapeno relish, our mango salsa, and our mesquite grilled onions that I'm going to cut into hot dog appropriate sized pieces. If you want to see how to make your own hot dog buns, click the link in the upper right hand corner right now. Stuff a freshly charred hot dog into the bun and arrange the condiments in the strange orientation that we find them in on The Simpsons. That is, next to each other rather than currently. Kind of an interesting idea, actually, so you get different flavors as you eat the hot dog. But how does it work in practice? Only one way to find out. And between the delicious homemade hot dog and the creative, flavorful toppings, this is genuinely one of the best hot dogs I've ever had in my life. If it were on a plate, it would legally be in the Clean Plate Club. But that being said, I think all these condiments would work better together rather than separately. Kind of like an old friend of mine, America. So I'm going to slop it up with all them toppings, and because I'm clearly biased, here comes Sawyer, a third-party adjudicator, and who, as an attorney, is incapable of lying. Let's see what he thinks of the new and improved Isotope Dog. You know it's good because you can't fake eyebrow movement like that. Thank you again to ButcherBox for sponsoring this episode. With ButcherBox, you can stock your freezer with high-quality meat products, making cooking and meal planning easier. You choose your box type and frequency, and they'll ship you your order for free.
Isotope Dog.